Abracadabra, the habit changing magic show is back. Is it really magic? Well, that's what our brain wants. Something special, something satisfying. Let's find out how to satisfy our desires and practice a self care habit or two. James Clear, you are a magician. Thank you. Remember where we're headed on this self care expedition? Pleasure Island, baby. Let me try that Dickie V style. Pleasure Island, baby. No, that still wasn't good. Well, hey, guess what? I tried. And I'm satisfied. If you arrive at Pleasure Island, baby, will you be satisfied? What does satisfaction look, feel, taste, sound, smell like? If you think about it, we never fully arrive. We're always seeking. Once we get to a desired destination, we wonder, what's next? Or is that just me? Chasing after satisfaction. We're more likely to practice our self-care habits. Earlier, lighter dinner, early to bed, start the day right, BBP, plant-based diet, healthy eating guidelines, sitting in silence. We're more likely to practice our self-care habits when the experience is satisfying. The question is, how do we make our habits satisfying? Think about other habits you practice. Washing your hands, brushing your teeth, chewing gum. Feelings of pleasure, even minor ones like washing hands with soap that smells nice and lathers well, brushing your teeth with toothpaste or chewing gum that has natural flavors of peppermint, cinnamon, or spearmint. Those are all signals to the brain. This feels or tastes good. Do it again next time. The fragrance or suds of soap or the flavors of gum and toothpaste don't improve the effectiveness of the habit. They simply make the experience more pleasurable. Pleasure teaches your brain that a behavior is worth remembering and repeating. If an experience is not satisfying, we have little reason to repeat it. The cardinal rule of behavior change is what is rewarded is repeated. What is punished is avoided. Aww. You, like other beings, learn what to do in the future based on what you were reported for doing in the past. Positive emotions cultivate habits. Negative emotions destroy them. The first three laws of behavior change for creating a good habit: make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy. All of those increase the odds the behavior will be performed this time. The fourth law, make it satisfying, increases the odds that behavior will be performed next time. But there's a trick. We're not looking for just any type of satisfaction. We're looking for immediate satisfaction. Yes, monkey, they're the bananas. Imagine you're an animal roaming the plains of Africa, a giraffe, elephant, or lion. On any given day, most of your decisions have an immediate impact. You're always thinking about where to sleep or how to avoid a predator. You're constantly focused on the present or near future. You live in what scientists call an immediate return environment because your actions instantly deliver clear and immediate outcomes. Now, switch back to your human self. In modern society, many of the choices you make today will not benefit you immediately. If you do a good job at work, you'll get a paycheck in a few weeks. If you exercise today, perhaps you won't be overweight next year. If you save money now, maybe you'll have enough for retirement decades from now. You live in what scientists call a delayed return environment because you can work for years before your actions deliver the intended payoff. The human brain did not evolve for a life in a delayed return environment. The newest part of the brain, the neocortex, which is responsible for higher functions like language, was roughly the same size 200 years ago as today. You're walking around with the same hardware as your Paleolithic ancestors. It's only recently, during the last 500 years or so, that society has shifted to a predominantly delayed return environment. Compared to the age of the brain, modern society is brand new. In the last 100 years, we've seen the rise of the television, PC, internet, and smartphone. The world has changed much in the recent years, but human nature, your brain, has changed little. I'll pause. It's not saying you cannot form new pathways. I'll definitely say that. But the overall architecture has not changed much. Now, in the jungle, and even for our ancestors, it made sense to place a high value on instant gratification. The distant future was a concern. After thousands of generations in immediate return environment, our brains evolved to prefer quick payoffs to longer term ones. Behavioral economists refer to this tendency as time inconsistency. That is the way your brain evaluates rewards is inconsistent across time. You value the present more than the future. Usually this tendency serves us well. A reward that is certain right now is typically worth more than a reward that is merely possible in the future. But occasionally, our bias towards instant gratification causes problems. Why would someone smoke now if they know it increases the risk of lung cancer? Why would someone overeat when they know it increases the risk of obesity? Once you start understanding how the brain prioritizes rewards, the answers become clear. The consequences of bad habits are delayed. The rewards are immediate. Smoking may kill you in 10 years, but it reduces stress and eases your nicotine cravings now. Overeating is harmful in the long run, but appetizing in the moment. Every habit produces multiple outcomes across time. Unfortunately, the outcomes are often misaligned. With our good habits, the immediate outcome usually feels good. But ultimately, with our bad habits, the immediate outcome usually feels good, but the ultimate outcome feels bad. With our good habits, it's the reverse. The immediate outcome is often unenjoyable. Oh, the effort. But the ultimate outcome feels good. Oh, yes. Put it another way. The costs of your good habits are in the present. The costs of your bad habits are in the future. The brain's tendency to prioritize the present moment means you can't rely on good intentions. When you make a plan to eat a plant-based diet, to practice meditation, to go to bed earlier, you're actually making plans for future you. And when you envision what your life will be like, it's easy to see the value in taking actions with long-term benefits. We all want better lives for our future selves. Oh, I learned that lesson. And I'm still learning that lesson, envisioning myself 21 years from now. However, when the moment of decision arrives, instant gratification usually wins. Excess purchases on Poshmark, away from my meditation practice. Oh, did I say that out loud? You're no longer making decisions for future you who dreams of having more energy, a healthier budget, more clarity of mind, and a healthier body. You're choosing for present you who wants to watch a Netflix marathon with popcorn while texting your best friend or get a new outfit on Poshmark. Wow, really calling myself out here. As a general guideline, the more immediate pleasure you get from an action, the more strongly you should question whether it aligns with your long-term goals. Questioners will rock this. Obligers, you may want to use the pleasure question to connect with your success partner or someone in your immediate environment to say, hey, this future me, this not future me. Give me some support. Let's update the cardinal rule of behavior change. That is, what is immediately rewarded is repeated. What is immediately punished is avoided. Our preference for instant gratification reveals an important truth about success. Because of how we are wired, most people will spend all day chasing quick hits of satisfaction. The road less traveled is the road of delayed gratification. If you're willing to wait for the rewards, you'll face less competition. This guy ain't got any. And often get a bigger payoff. As the saying goes, the last mile is always the least crowded. Here's a fun offshoot. Looking at gratification, some of you may have heard of the marshmallow test. It's a classic example of the payoff delayed gratification can offer. The experiment began by bringing each child into a private room, sitting them down in a chair, and placing a marshmallow on the table in front of them. At this point, the researcher offered a deal to the child. The researcher told the child that he was going to leave the room, and if the child did not eat the marshmallow while he was away, then he would be rewarded with a second marshmallow. However, if the child decided to eat the first marshmallow before the researcher came back, they would not get a second marshmallow. So the choice was simple: one treat now or two treats later. The researcher left the room for 15 minutes. Some kids jumped up and ate the first marshmallow as soon as the researcher closed the door. What would you do? Others wiggled and bounced and scooted their chairs as they tried to restrain themselves. Oh God, that sounds like me. But eventually they gave in to temptation a few minutes later. Maybe that wouldn't have been me. And only a few of the children did manage to wait the entire time. Me, like, what's next? What's next? As the years rolled on and the children grew up, the researchers conducted follow-up studies and tracked each child's progress in a number of areas. What they found was surprising. The children who were willing to delay gratification and waited to receive the second marshmallow ended up having higher SAT scores, lower substance abuse levels, lower likelihood of obesity, better responses to stress, better social skills as reported by their parents, and generally better scores in a range of other life measures. The researchers followed each child for more than 40 years. Over and over again, the group who waited patiently for the second marshmallow succeeded in whatever capacity they were measuring. In other words, this series of experiments proved that ability to delay gratification was critical for success in life. Success in nearly every field requires you to ignore an immediate reward in favor of a delayed reward. Here's the problem. Most people know delaying gratification is the wise approach. They want the benefits of the good habits, to be healthy, productive, at peace. But these outcomes are seldom top of the mind at the decisive moment. Thankfully, it is possible to train yourself to delay gratification. While our architecture of our brain structurally has not evolved much, we can rewire. You'll need to work with the grain of human nature, though, and not against it. The best way to do this little trickery, is to add a bit of immediate pleasure to the habits that pay off in the long run and an immediate pain to those that don't. Let's talk about pleasure. The vital thing in getting a habit to stick is to feel successful, even if it's a small way. The feeling of success is a signal that your habit paid off and the work you did was worth the effort. In a perfect world, the reward for a good habit is the habit itself. In a real world, good habits tend to feel worthwhile only after they've provided something for you. Early on, it's a lot of sacrifice. You've gone on your morning walk a few times, but you're not stronger, fitter, faster, or at least in any noticeable sense. It's only months later, once you shed a few pounds or you notice your pants are a little looser or you finish your loop a little faster, that it becomes easier to exercise for exercise sake. In the beginning, you need a little reason to stay on track. This is why immediate rewards are essential. They keep you excited while delayed rewards accumulate in the background. Thank you, Self. What we're really talking about here when we're discussing rewards is the ending of a behavior. The ending of any experience is vital. We tend to remember it more than other phases. You want the ending of your habit to be satisfying. Yeah, you're amazing. The best approach is to use reinforcement, be it self-praise or other ways. Using reinforcement. Reinforcement refers to the process of using immediate reward to increase the rate of a behavior. Recall that habit stacking ties your habit to an immediate cue, which makes it obvious when to start. You attend a C meeting, you get out your meal planner, open your cookbook, choose 2 dinner recipes. That's what I want to do. Now, reinforcement, ta-da, this was a little magic. This is my magic trick. Are you excited? The reinforcement ties your habit to an immediate reward, which makes it satisfying when you finish. Silly as it may seem, a star on a chart can offer you a surprisingly rewarding feeling after you do your habit or part of a habit. And in particular, if that habit is sticky for you, which a lot of these self-care practices are. It's important to select short-term rewards that reinforce your identity rather than conflict with it. Buying new workout gear is great if you're trying to be more active, but it doesn't work if you're trying to develop a healthier budget and save money. Instead, for budget-conscious rewards, taking a bath or a cup of tea with friends in your house, homemade tea, free, somewhat relatively inexpensive. Those are examples of rewarding yourself with free time, which aligns with the goal of more freedom and financial independence. This may sound obvious. If your reward for breath body practice is going for an ice cream date after your walk, then you're casting votes for conflicting identities, and it ends up being a wash. Instead, maybe your reward is a massage, which is both luxurious and a vote towards taking care of your body. Self-massage? Free. Now, the short-term reward is aligned with your long-term vision of being a healthy person. Eventually, as intrinsic rewards like a better mood, more energy, and reduced stress kick in, you'll become less concerned with chasing the secondary reward. The identity, your identity, becomes the reinforcer. You do it because it's who you are, and it feels good to be you. The more a habit becomes a part of your life, the less you need outside encouragement to follow through. Well, being outside is good encouragement. So incentives can start a habit. Identity sustains a habit. That says, that said, it takes time for evidence to accumulate and a new identity to emerge. Immediate reinforcement helps maintain motivation in the short term, while you're waiting for the long-term rewards to arrive. In summary, a habit needs to be enjoyable for it to last. While I clear my throat, hear it another way. Change is easier when the habit is pleasurable. Oh, Kaizen, tell me, Master Kaizen, what would you do this week? How would you make a challenging habit or aspect of a habit more satisfying? Connect with your inner Kaizen and let us know. Be well.